Hey everyone, Dean here from Paid House Media, and in today's video, I'll walk you through step by step on how to upload your customer list into Google Ads so you can build better audiences, enhance your targeting, and unlock more powerful remarketing opportunities. This is a foundational tactic that all e-commerce brands should be doing, whether you're running high-spend performance campaigns or just starting to leverage first-party data. Now, before we jump in, let me tell you why uploading a customer list matters. First-party data is your most valuable asset, especially post iOS 14 when Google and Meta are losing visibility on who your customers are. Now, when you upload a customer list into Google Ads, Google is able to create a profile of this individual, which will allow you to have stronger audience performance and higher match rate, which you then can use to exclude customers from prospecting campaigns. You can use it to re-engage with prospects that have not bought in the past, and you can also use it to create lookalikes of real buyers from your store. Now, let's get started, and I will show you how to do it. So the first thing that you need to do is you log in into the Shopify admin, and then you go to customers. Once you're in customers, you will be able to see the count of all the customers that you have in your store. And then on the right, you will see an option that says export, and it will ask you a few things. So current page or all customers. In this case, we want to do all customers. And if you want to deselect customer tags and meta fields, that's okay. And then file format, it's going to be CSV. CSV for Excel numbers or other spreadsheet programs. And then you just click on export customers. Depending on the size of the list, you will get an email with the list of these users, which then I'm going to show you here the file that I have here. So this is the file that got generated after I downloaded and click the export button. So you get an email, you download the file, it's usually in a zip file, so you need to extract it, and then you will have this CSV file. Once you have this CSV file, you need to open it either in Excel or else you need to do it on Google Sheets, whichever program you prefer. And what you need to do is clean up. We want to make sure that we only have first name, last name, email, zip code, country. If you don't have any of these data or the data is not too correct, then what you can do is you can focus on just having the emails and phone numbers, which will give you the highest match rates possible. And the other data will also help as well. Now, once you have the data cleaned up, we are going to head into Google Ads, and you're going to go to the Tools section and just click under the Share Library and Audience Manager. Once you're in Audience Manager, you're going to click in the plus button, and then you're going to click in Customer List. Then it's going to ask you, do you want to connect a new data source? In this case, we want to do upload a file manually. Then we just click on continue, and then you have to name the file. In this case, let's say customers. You can call it buyers as well, whichever works for you. And we recommend to put a date on this upload, so that way you remember when you uploaded this list. So for example, it's just going to be May. And then there's also some options here that you can define which customer types these are. So for example, these ones, you can use it for the new customer acquisition goals that you can use in campaigns like Performance Max. And you can say, okay, let's go after these high value customers or these disengaged customers. So it's more really like a customer type to filter an organization. So in this case, we're just going to do all customers because we're not doing that segmentation yet. So we're just going to say all customers. And then you will see here the options that Google gives you, which are 3. In this case, we will select upload emails, phones, and or postal addresses. Email is number 1, the most important. But then if you pair it with phone and postal addresses, then you will have the possibility of having super high match rate, and the quality of the data once Google receives it, it's going to be better. This will also help you to avoid Google rejecting the file. Now, we're going to click on browse, and then we're going to go to the file that you have. In this case, this is the one that I showed you before. This is the CSV. And then you have a few options here like membership duration, which in default, we usually do the maximum. This is the maximum that Google allows you to, which is 540 days. Because it's a customer list, that's okay. You want to get your customers on a list for as long as Google lets you to. And then you need to click on this. This data was collected in compliance to make sure that, these are your customers, this is data that you own. And then all we have to do then is just click on save and continue. And then what's going to happen is that Google's going to show you here column header values, and it's going to ask you to match them or map them with the correct value. So in this case, what we're going to do is this one, we want to remove it because we don't want it. You can do this before you upload the list, so you avoid this. But in case something happened, then you can also use this option. Like Google gives you the ability to fix some of these file errors, so you can just, finish cleaning up your file. Then, for example, we're going to remove all of this. So we're going to click on remove this column. This way, the data doesn't get uploaded at all. This data, because it doesn't matter, we're not going to use it. We're just going to map them all. In this case, this is going to be the phone number. We're going to leave the phone as phone. We have email as email, first name, last name, everything else. We're going to remove the zip code as well. Like I mentioned before, the most important is email and phone. Those are the ones that are the most important for Google. Everything else, it's going to help, like the first name, the last name, if you have the address and the zip code. Once everything is cleared up and it's fixed, then you can just click on fix and upload. See, continue, remove others, column B and C. Oh yeah, you're right. So if you want to add first name and last name, then you need to add country and zip so that you won't have any issue. So in this data, we have the zip code. So let's just go ahead and add it. And I think we do have a country. So that should help us. Let's give it a try. There you go. So what's going to happen then, the list is going to get uploaded. And then depending on the size of the list, it might take a few seconds to upload. And once it's uploaded, what you're going to see is the following. So only 15,000 out of the 20,000 were formatted correctly. The estimated match rate is usually going to be less than 100%. So don't panic. What we're looking to do is getting from somewhere to 70 to 90% match rate. So as you can see here, the median is like 80%. It's never going to be like a 100%. So you don't need to worry about that. For the sake of this example, I just want to show you what that looks like. The estimated match rate says it's less than 20%. Sometimes it can show up like this. But what you can do is the following. You can click on done. Once you do that, you're going to see that the list that you created is going to show up as populating. Usually can take a few hours or even a few days before it actually shows you a number of the size list. And if for whatever reason you were not able to match these people, or the match rate was just way too low compared to the number of records that you had, then you can re-upload the list. And after you already did some fixes, so for example, edit, and then you can click here, modify list, and then upload a file manually, continue. And then you have a few options here. You can edit your list based on customer contact information. So you can either remove specific customers, you can replace the entire list with a new list that's already cleaned up, or you can add more customers. So this will help you. You can upload another file and just follow the same process until you have a match rate of at least somewhere around 80%. So let's say if you have 10,000 people on a list, you want to have at least somewhere between 7,000 to 8,500 to be the match rate here. So sometimes it might be a little lower because, again, sometimes Google is not able to find the user in their database. But the more data and the higher the quality of the data that we give Google, then the better we'll be able to have a higher match rate, meaning a higher size of this list. Some pro tips that can help you in your journey as well is you can create separate lists for different type of buyers. So for example, when we were setting up the list, you remember that it was asking us to select a customer type. So we can create one for high value buyers. We can create one for churned customers, which are customers that have not made a purchase in the last 6 months. So that way you can segment them and create separate tactics for them, create, these remarketing lists. Additionally, you can head over to the admin section, account settings, and just go to the customer match. Make sure that use customer match list in smart bidding and optimized targeting are enabled. So these are usually by default, but basically what this does is, besides smart bidding learning from the data on the ad account, it will also learn from the list that we upload to Google. So we give Google a list of our customers, and it's going to use it to train the algorithm on who our customers are, and just basically help us target them. So that's going to be a great way for you to get the most out of it and make this part of your day-to-day. Do this on a monthly basis to keep your list fresh, up to date, so that more data that you are able to provide Google, and the higher the quality of the data, then the better results you're going to get. So if you got value from this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave us a question in the comment section. And if you're an e-commerce brand looking to get most out of your ad dollars, then book a call in the link below, and we will see you on the next one.